20 years on the inside of the estate agency world. We're rather thrilled that he joins us right now on the British Broadcasting Corporation. Good afternoon to you, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Shaun. I'm equally thrilled to be here.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you on. So for anybody that doesn't know about your very successful YouTube series, give us a little bit of a background. We know that you've worked on the inside for 20 years, but how did your love for what you do and the estate agency world come about?
Well, I kind of fell into that 20 years ago, but then my love for it really became entrenched when I realized what a difference it makes to people's lives when you have a move that goes well compared to when you have a move that goes badly. You know, it's a life-changing time when you're moving house, especially if you need to move. So, and it's an absolute minefield. And I've never been an estate agent, but I have worked with them and had them as clients for over 20 years, big, small, all around the country. And I just thought I would share my insights about how the system actually works from behind the scenes with movers so that they can go into the process a bit better armed. And there are good estate agents out there, but there are also famously a lot of very bad ones. And I'm also here to try and help people spot the difference between the good and the bad ones and avoid bad estate agency.
Well, the videos that you've got on your YouTube channel, do you have a situation where, obviously because the market fluctuates so much, are a lot of those videos sort of the time in terms of when you're talking about prices, or are these things that we can go back and reference at any time we discover the channel?
Now, most of the videos where I'm actually talking about moving tips themselves are pretty timeless. There are some videos that are specifically reacting to house price news, so that's of the time. But the thing everyone needs to remember is that the house price moves unbelievably slowly. The housing market moves unbelievably slowly. Typically speaking, a transaction, a home move, from the moment someone decides that they want to move to when they actually just get into their new house is about a year. And look how much can change in a year as far as the economy is concerned, interest rates, mortgage rates, availability. It's just so much can change. And so whatever happens in the news today, you won't see the results of it reaching house prices for about a year.
So
that's why
interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
It's something everyone needs to understand. But that's how I was able to call the top of the market just over a year ago. Everyone thought I was mad, and I said, no, I've seen it. That's the top. The top. I called it first of February, then May 2022, and then in August I did a video saying house prices are coming down. Everyone thought I was mad, but it's panned out just as I expected.
Well, let's talk about the Rightmove house price index. Then it's showing a new asking prices in general have fallen £7,000 in 1 month.
That's right, and there's a critical thing everyone needs to understand about the Rightmove house price index. It is only the average of newly listed homes. It's not the average of everything on the market. And so it doesn't include anything that's had price reductions. So it actually gives quite an artificially high number. But yes, they had a £7,000 drop between July and August, which by their standards, I think is the biggest drop since 2018. But they do say there's always a bit of a drop in August in the summer, but that's typically about 0.9% by their own figures. So it's twice as big a drop as usual. But you've got to remember, asking prices are, I mean, my property website, Best Agent, has the whole of the property market on there. And there are roughly 5 properties for sale for every one that's showing as sold. So there's a huge amount of unsold stuff in there. So asking prices include properties that never even sell. And as we all know, a lot of sellers can be somewhat over-optimistic with their pricing. So those figures from Rightmove include all those over-optimistic sellers who are testing the market and might not sell. The reality is actually bigger fools than that. Just this morning, got the data out from Best Agent, the property site, where we actually measure the average asking price of properties that are showing as sold. So we ignore all the for sale stuff, just look at the data of what's showing as sold, and that's actually fallen £10,000 in 1 month. But the other big thing to remember is this: there is no such thing as an average. So in Rightmove's own figures, and you can go and look at this it's published in the house price report. It's actually a £23,000 drop for higher end properties, on average, what they call top of the ladder properties. It's only a £2,000 drop for first time buyers at asking price. So if you've got first time buyers listening, you're thinking, fantastic, I'm going to go and knock £7,000 off the asking price. That's not that simple. This is why averages are very misleading. £2,000 for first time buyers, £3,500 for what they call second steppers, but £23,000 for the bigger house. And to give you an idea, they're calling the average asking price of the bigger houses is around about £630,000.
Well, the overall picture, it seems, is they're definitely falling. So why is that? Are sellers perhaps waking up?
Beginning to. It's still early days. There are a lot of sellers who it's a combination. I mean, every single situation is different, but some sellers, I know estate agents who say, I just cannot talk any sense into this seller. They will not listen to me. I've told them they can't get their price. They won't listen to me. So it's going on at a silly price. Other ways round, it's where innocent, naive sellers are misled by an estate agent and told, oh, we'll get you this much for it. And the seller goes, oh, okay, we'll trust you then. And of course, you then get what I called is listed and locked, which is the worst scenario for a seller. You get listed, in other words, you sign up with an agent, but unbeknownst to you've just signed a lock-in agreement of sometimes up to 6 months, which means you can't leave that agent for 6 months, which is a nightmare if you're trying to sell. So there are a lot of sellers who are quite innocently, they just haven't been paying attention. And because what gets reported by the land registry is about 9 months late from what's actually happening at the front line of the property market. That's what I'm trying to help people understand. At the front line of the property market, because I talk to estate agents every single day as my clients and with the software systems I provide them with. I mean, we had, well, actually, Crest Nicholson, the home builder, yesterday published their report saying that they've seen another 50% drop in transactions from their already reduced levels, which is worse than anyone expected just in the last 7 weeks. So I think buyers are realizing that it's probably the riskiest time to buy, with mortgage rates being so high, house prices still being relatively high. They haven't come down much. And more and more sellers actually waking up and going, goodness me, we've got to drop the price. And if you're a seller listening to this thinking, what do I need to do to get my house price sold? The answer is you've got to drop your asking price below the asking price of all comparable properties. And then the buyers that are there, and there are buyers there, and there are cash buyers there, they will come to your property. And that's when you get people paying over asking price. So you have a sensible, low asking price, you get competing buyers, and you will sell quickly for the best available price. Sticking on a high asking price and hoping for just that one mug buyer to walk through the door, it doesn't work in a falling market.
Overall picture then, Charlie, in a nutshell, what exactly does all this mean for buyers and sellers for that matter?
If you need to move, and if you need a home and you can afford one, then you should still buy, but just don't overpay. That's a personal thing depending on the size of your deposit, the size of your mortgage. But right now, the risks of going into negative equity are very high for people with small deposits. Okay, and negative equity means your home ends up being worth less than the mortgage you borrowed to buy it, meaning that you can't sell it. And if you can't keep up your mortgage repayments on it, you get it swiped back by the bank after you get the 12-month grace period that the government's now got lenders to give. If you don't keep up your mortgage repayments, eventually it'll be taken off you. They will sell it, and whatever the difference is between what they get for it and what you owe them, they will come after you for. So the risks of negative equity are very, very high. So anyone buying needs to go into it with their eyes wide open. And if you find a home you love and you can afford it, and you know you can keep up your remortgage payments, then make sure you don't overpay, but buy. But not if you need to move in the next 5 years, because in my view, house prices are going to continue to come down for some years, for the next 2, 3, 4 years. So if you buy now and house prices drop and you are in negative equity, but you're keeping up your mortgage payments, you can still live there. You're not at risk of having it taken back, but you won't be able to sell for some time. So I would only be buying now if I was buying for at least 10 years. I had a significant deposit, and I was very confident in my job security and my financial ability to pay my mortgages. What it means for sellers is if you don't price below everyone else, you're not going to get sold.
If you want to find Charlie on YouTube, it's Moving Home with Charlie. That's what you're looking for. And if anybody wants to find you online, how can they do that, Charlie?
Just search Moving Home with Charlie. I'm on all the social channels. You'll find me wherever your favorite one is. So yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's everywhere. So just look Moving Home with Charlie or Charlie Lambden and you'll find me.
Marvellous. Charlie Lambden, the home mover consumer champion, joining us on the BBC this afternoon. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Shaun.
No, I mean, it's the